Greetings, warlocks, hunters, titans, and all the ships at sea. It's time once again for Happy Hour from the Tower, and I am T. Morris, hosting another special video episode, the first for 2018. Now, before I get into today's programming, I just want to say a special thank you to everyone that's been showing support on social media for the podcast, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Twitch. And speaking of Twitch, I was asked by ZG Photo during his Twitch stream, and you can check out his stream at the link below at the bottom of your screen, if we will ever do a Happy Hour from the Tower live episode on our unofficially official or officially unofficial Twitch channel, which is in fact my channel. Again, URL at the bottom of the screen. Short answer, not until I get my stream machine purchased, built, and up and running, which is a goal for 2018. And you can take a look at what I'm shooting for under the wish list category of my Twitch channel. Now, presently, I stream completely from a PS4 Pro, so I'm limited in what I can do with Twitch. Baby steps and all that. Once I get the setup for the studio, that will change. So a Happy Hour from the Tower live session will have to wait. Thanks for the question, Z. Remember, you too can send in your questions or feedback at 703-791-1701. You can drop us an email at podcast@happyhourfromthetower.com, or you can visit, follow, or even subscribe to my Twitch stream every Monday through Friday, starting at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, on previous episodes, I've been featuring breakdowns of my gameplay in both Crucible and Raids, but this go-round, I'm featuring podcaster, streamer, and cosplayer Kevin O'Connor, or TD0013. One of the founding members of the 501st, the official Star Wars Cosplay Society. Kevin is also an Xbox Guardian, and this video episode highlights his current work in progress, the Iron Banner Titan Armor from Destiny Year 1. So let's spend a few creative moments with TD here on Happy Hour from the Tower. We're doing this guerrilla style. So, Kevin.
Yes.
Talk me through this. What am I looking at right here? And I'm going to step a little bit out of frame so that we can get this. First off, how much work is this? What are we looking at right here? Is that a trick question?
No. Well, I have no idea how many man hours are in this. And the reason I say that is this is version 3 of every different plate. Okay. Because when I started this 3 years ago,
all right,
that's how long this has been going on. By the way, can't believe I have to explain this to your listeners. Or the fact that you asked me is funny, but you do have some new Destiny 2 people. I get it.
Okay.
This, not including this. This is ODST from Halo.
Yeah, that's the same. We know this is Halo, so you can don't worry about any comments. Yeah. We know that's Halo. That's just there for like a placeholder.
Yeah. This, back in the olden days, is what Titans used to wear when we beat the crap out of people in the Iron Banner, you see. This is the Year 1 Iron Banner Iron Regalia suit of armor.
Okay.
This is from Year 1.
Okay.
This is the old school stuff.
Right. Now, but this is 3 years of work, because as you told me earlier, instead of building Destiny, you'd rather play Destiny.
That is definitely part of it, yes.
That makes sense.
The other issues that I kept having, as I said, this is version 3.
Okay.
The reason for that is every time I would make a set of patterns, because there are no patterns. There's no Pepakura.
Well, that was my first question. My first question for this is, you have to make these patterns from scratch. From scratch.
Looking at pictures and going in Photoshop or sketching.
So you're going into Xbox. You're getting screen captures of that, or are you going on stuff online?
Absolutely. No, Xbox, because that's the other thing. When I started this process in Year 1,
right,
you couldn't even rotate. When you came up on the close-up in the menu, you couldn't even rotate yet.
Really?
All I got was this angle from here of this chest plate, and because it's a 3D render, it's limited polygons, whatever tech talk that is, this actually looks flat at certain angles. Well, it's not. Well, I didn't know that. I ended up making 4 of these before I finally got the shape right, because as time went on, they finally allowed it to where you could rotate each and every piece. So when I started, I couldn't. Don't even get me started on with the back.
Well,
the
you
back.
couldn't see it. You
could not see what the back looked like, other than when you had the Sword of Crota.
Right.
And even then, you're too busy. I scoured the internet trying desperately to find any back views of this suit of armor. Came up goose eggs most of the time, but slowly but surely put it together. And with each update, it seemed like, oh, well, that's wrong. So I had to start over. Like, matter of fact, there are some things with this particular suit that are still wrong. Like, eventually I'm going to remake the entire torso with exception to the chest plate, because that's fine.
Okay.
The shoulders are actually wrong. The shoulder straps.
Oh, the shoulder straps.
Shoulder straps are wrong because this is what it looked like. It looked like there's this nice channel, and then there's webbing. Well, it isn't. The webbing literally just sits on top of a flat plate. Oh, okay. Which I couldn't tell. Right. Now I can, and I'm like, okay, so I have to redo that again for the fourth time. The neck is actually too tall as well.
Oh, the neck is too tall. Okay. So, so at the rate that you're going, and that is not meant as a slam.
So by Destiny 4, I should be good to go.
Okay.
No.
Fair enough. All right. So okay. So right now what you're waiting on. So I'm just going to remove the.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So right now what we're waiting on is a new helmet.
Correct.
This is just that, like you said, this is just a placeholder for it. You've got the back plate. So what's actually missing? You got
so far the only plates that I don't have on here, the forearms, because I don't actually have the arms on the mannequin right now. You'll actually get to see those.
Yeah, we're gonna do a close up of those in just a second.
The belt, which is actually right here, but it's wrong, so I have to redo it.
All right.
The belt is missing, the groin armor, and then the boot armor. But other than that, I mean, I've got probably 85 to 90% of everything from the neck down finished.
And your goal is to have this done,
God willing, by the next Phoenix Comic-Con in May of 2018. But who knows? I'm also in the process of helping a warlock. She is also doing Year 1, Iron Banner, Iron Regalia, Warlock. And then I have a hunter who is doing Year 1, Iron Banner, Iron Regalia, Hunter.
So you guys are going to do the whole set.
Oh yeah.
And you're just going to...
And then we're going to have probably the coolest set piece prop cohort with us that I almost don't want to say it because I don't want to jinx it because I've never seen anyone else do it yet. Right. But we're going to have our own Tyra Karn.
Okay.
Because she fits in with the Iron Banner.
Right. Now, of all the stuff that we're seeing up here, what is the most complicated piece, and how long did it take you to make? Because this design right here with the wolf.
This is the thigh plate. This was a particularly tricky piece to figure out the shapes, how to bend it, how to cut it. Right. Because everything starts off with, actually we didn't even ask. Not that that's your fault. I think I derailed you. I do that.
He's real good at that too.
This started off its life as this, which is which all the cool cosplay kids are playing with now, which is garage floor fatigue mats.
I was just gonna say my kid had she had like an indoor hopscotch thing. Yeah, alphabets. All
that
she had
too.
Made up. So
those don't work as well because you've got letter cutouts.
And you're not a Sesame Street guardian.
Exactly.
You're a Destiny guardian.
I mean, you could.
You could.
I personally would throw things at you because I hate mashups, but that's just me. But this all started off from the neck down.
Right.
All started off as a sheet of EVA foam, with also craft foam. Craft foam that you get from like Michaels or anywhere else.
So this isn't even like a plastic or a polymer. This is all EVA foam. So what makes it stiff?
Well, such a loaded question. I seal everything with Plastidip.
Plastidip?
Plastidip.
Okay.
Which is a handy product that you can...
now you see why I got him on.
Ding!
Ding.
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 Please, Plastidip, send me more. Love the stuff. Endorsing it. Now you have to put a disclaimer at the
Now I got to put
it.
under disclaimer.
Anyhow, Plastidip, I use this to seal the foam. Because otherwise, the paint would just soak into it. So what happens is we have about 6 layers of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I put a silver coat on the whole thing, like most pieces. God, it's so tricky to do that. Everything starts off like in this color.
Okay.
Just this silver color.
Okay.
Because you want it to look like metal.
Right.
In order to do weathering and chips and dings, I always have the silver underneath, and then I build on top of that. So there's 3 coats of silver, then usually 4 coats of whatever the top color is going to be.
Now, before you got into this type of armor building, you used to be part of the Dune Sea Garrison here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Correct.
But you didn't make uniforms out of EVA foam.
No.
You made them out of a polymer?
ABS plastic.
So what are the advantages and disadvantages of using this type of foam as opposed to using the plastics for the Stormtrooper outfits?
Honestly, and a lot of your viewers will, it's very easy to learn how to use, and it's very inexpensive.
Which ones? The foam?
The foam.
Okay.
ABS plastic, it's dependent on petroleum prices. So that fluctuates.
Didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's a petroleum product. So the prices of ABS, I mean, it'll stay stable.
Sure.
But usually to build, like, say, an entire suit of Stormtrooper armor can cost, just for the plastic, around a couple $100.
Okay.
Probably more, actually. It's been a while since I've made a set.
Right.
Foam, I can get a 4-pack of 2x2 of the big square you just saw for like $8 at Harbor Freight.
So we're not really looking at an expensive piece of armar.
No, not really.
So maybe what?
Material-wise, no.
But time-wise,
Time-wise,
yes. And is that part of what made this particular piece so tricky? It's not just how it was cut, but also how it was designed?
I did have to learn, figure out how I wanted to design it, or how to get these designs in it. Like, this is actually done by cutting into the foam and then hitting it with a heat gun. And then it opens it up as it heats up. Whereas this piece here, these little leaves or branches, whatever, this is actually a very thin piece of foam on top of a thicker piece. And so this shape was already cut out before I glued it on there.
And what about the bullet holes? How do you manage the bullet hole effect?
Take it out to the range. No, what I use is a...
Bring it! You had me going there.
I know.
Oh my God, you enjoy that part too much. Okay, so you were saying about the bullet holes.
So I use a wood burning tool, actually. I used to use a soldering iron, but it's not good for the soldering iron.
Oh, okay.
And wood burners are dirt cheap. Again, that's another Harbor Freight thing. You can get a whole kit with like 4 different attachments for maybe $10. But literally, you just let the tip heat up, and you just kind of gently poke away at it, and it'll melt away. Because ultimately, this is plastic.
Right.
The foam is a plastic, so it just melts away. And you just kind of work at it until you get the patterns you like. You know, I like to try and think of not just the bullet hits, but also some of the splash from it, because we're dealing with energy weapons primarily.
So a sword would be what caused
Absolutely.
this here.
Well, like I've always imagined these here, these marks here, to be from thralls.
Oh.
Because they're always clawing at you. And that's the thing. I like to try and think of not just, oh boy, I want to dirty it up and make it look used. I like to try and think of, okay, what made this happen? Mm-hmm. What is it that hit this or hit there or whatever? I mean, and the other thing I like to, that is important to me is I put so much time and effort into these, right? Because these are cut in and a little bit of carving and stuff to get these wolf heads. But I believe, oh yes, it's actually in the back of this one.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
I still put a huge gouge in it right through it because I felt that weathering doesn't care how fancy or expensive your gear is. it felt unnatural to avoid the areas where I put the most work when I was trying to make it look pretty. It just made more sense because with my luck, that's exactly where I'm going to get the most damage. Wherever I spent the most time, that's the part that's going to get ruined.
So this, but the weathering and the scarring, that's what gives it a sense of realism, because
Absolutely.
especially if you're going as a Titan, you're the first one in. So being the first one in, you're gonna look beat up. Now you've got some stuff inside where we can actually go through some weathering techniques. Is it okay for us to take a look at that?
No.
Okay, fine, great. We're gonna do it anyway.
All right.
What I'm going to show you is I talked about the wood burner,
Right.
poking holes in the foam, and okay. Eventually, you get to a point where you got to paint it, and what I'm going to show you is how I achieve paint chips in a brand new paint job, but I want it to look like it's been there. It's a natural paint chip,
Okay.
as opposed to dry brushing with silver, which nothing against that technique. It's just this looks better for weathered armor that is supposed to have a paint on it.
Right.
You just get a more natural appearance. How this is done is, if you look at these areas here, these little lumps, these are not imperfections in the paint, these are intentional. As I said before, first you plasti dip, which we looked at the two knives. One is plasti dipped, and the second one was painted in all silver, which again is how all of this stuff starts out. Then what I do is I mask off certain areas where I want there to be chips, chips in the paint, not Poncherello and John.
Right.
I use a secret trick of the industry called Pepsodent toothpaste. And there are two schools.
Desperately need sponsorship on this.
I'm telling you,
man.
more Pepsodent, please.
Okay.
Anyway, fresh mint toothpaste. Anyway, so I use toothpaste, and there's two schools of thought. Some folks use mustard for the same thing, which is you mask off areas before you do your top coat.
Okay.
And because what happens is the toothpaste stays a paste. It never dries.
Okay.
Once it's sealed in the paint. Well, that allows you to very easily pick at this top layer.
And actually make it look...
And then it peels away, leaving the silver underneath.
Got it.
I still have to run it over with the brush and some
Right.
water to clean off all the toothpaste, but even then you can kind of see the silver underneath. The reason I use toothpaste as opposed to mustard is I used to use mustard, but it actually stained the paint yellow.
Interesting.
In spots, and I didn't dig that because that's not the effect I was going for. Plus, the toothpaste makes me smell minty fresh, no matter where I'm going.
Okay.
Which is important.
And
when you're sweating your things off in a suit of armor all day at a Phoenix, Arizona
little
convention,
touches like a fresh minty Titan.
mint.
Fresh minty Titans.
Well, there you go, right?
There you go.
But yeah, anything to try and stave off the armor stank.
Armor funk, right.
Yes.
Right.
But anyway, so that's what that is. And if you want to move over to the sink, I can hopefully get something done if you wanted to see that. If not, that's fine.
No, let's do that. Let's do that.
It doesn't matter to me. I'm such a great cat.
So basically you just wet it up. And I just kind of start picking at it with my thumb here. Try and get a lot of the larger chunks. Watch this be the one time it doesn't work proper because it's been sitting too long.
And this just gives the illusion of things like, you got this brand new armor for being in the Iron Banner, but then you're bumping into walls, you're bumping into barriers, you're bumping into Vex, you're bumping into...
Yeah, it's not just, we're not just clumsy, we're actually fighting. And that's always been a school of thought for me. Even when I did the Stormtrooper stuff, I didn't do Stormtrooper, I did Sandtrooper, because Sandtroopers look like they work for a living.
Yeah.
And that was always important to me.
clean troopers I don't know, they don't have as much appeal to me personally. Let's see, that one's being stubborn. I would figure.
No, you got it.
Oh, that one can't.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So this process, how long does it normally take for the paint to dry and the toothpaste to start to become
Usually I'll give it a couple days after I paint it.
Okay.
Usually it's 2 days. This piece actually has been sitting for quite a while, but I mean the toothpaste will still come off.
Is there any advantage to leaving it longer or no?
No. No, there really
That's
isn't.
just laziness. Okay.
It's absolutely laziness. Yeah. That's really all it comes down to is laziness. But again, like I was saying about the damage out in the garage, I try and think about what happened. If you look at the hand plates, you'll notice that this part of the leading edge of the hand plate is very scratched up, beaten up.
So I'm punching all the different
thumb. Absolutely, it's a Titan.
Any of the fallen,
punch everything. But,
So what about water and the foam? Water doesn't damage the foam or any way, shape, or form, does it?
Well, that's what the plastic is for. It literally seals the foam.
Oh, so it makes it waterproof.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it's everything. We live in an imperfect world kind of thing where no matter how much you try, sometimes water's just gonna get in there.
Right.
And one of the disadvantages of using, say, rattle can paint, which is what I use, obviously, it doesn't flex with the foam as well as, say, acrylics do.
Okay.
So you'll get spider web cracking and things like that.
Have you ever wanted that effect though in your armor? Or
so far, no. Just because it's a very odd damage pattern.
Okay.
It doesn't because it doesn't read as battle damage as much as it reads as your paint cracked on your foam armor. That's the unfortunate thing.
Okay. Now compared to a Stormtrooper's outfit, how do you think this is going to compare to it? Will it be lighter? Will it be more flexible? What are the pros and cons between dressing as a desert trooper, sand trooper, and a iron regalia Titan?
I think that overall this suit is going to weigh probably an eighth of what the Stormtrooper armor weighs.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very, very lightweight. I mean, it's literally it's blisters of air. If you think about it, because that's what foam is. It's just little pockets of air. It's like bubble wrap. It just weighs nothing. So weight will be much lighter. The difference between the two is while the Stormtrooper armor weighed more, it was far better ventilated. And foam insulates, which is bad if it's hot, because it's going to keep all the heat in. And again, since I do this in Phoenix, Arizona,
that matters.
That's going to matter. It's going to suck. I mean, the undersuit is made out of scuba diving material because I'm insane. But it was the only material that I liked that had the right look to it. Because I've seen other costumers with various, be it Destiny, Halo, anytime there's a lot of armor, I have seen people use the black dive skins like we use with the Stormtrooper armor, which is the Lycra bodysuit. And it just never quite looks right to me. It's a little too lightweight of a material for that type of, it's all bungee, for the bungee style of armor that we've all come to know and love.
Thanks for watching this episode of Happy Hour from the Tower. Remember, you can send us feedback either through WhatsApp or voicemail at 703-791-1701 or email us at podcast@happyhourfromthetower.com. You can also find us on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. Go on ahead and hit that subscribe button for our YouTube channel, where you can see video episodes of Happy Hour from the Tower in the future. Remember that Happy Hour from the Tower is protected by a non-commercial, no derivative, share-alike United States 3.0 license. You can find out more about that at creativecommons.org. Thanks for joining us. Eyes up, Guardian. Time to give up the ghost. The first round's on us.